And welcome, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode.
No more intros.
No intros?
No more intros.
What are you going to do? What are the fans going to think?
Well,
the followers, sorry.
The listeners.
The listeners.
They come under many names. They flow with the wind. They glide with the water. If the listeners miss the intros, I am willing to bring them back. But if there's no outcry for intros, they're done.
Done. End of intros.
They hurt my brain way too much.
You do struggle to think of an intro every week.
Yeah, and I'd rather put the extra 30 seconds of effort into thinking of an intro into my actual research so I don't get certain things wrong.
Well, that would probably help, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't generally tend to still be doing your intro, your research, like literally just before we press the record button.
This is true, but also I just don't want to do intros anymore. How about that? Just lick my rump. I'm not doing it anymore.
Oh, right. I was
Yeah.
going to say, is this the serious side of Josh that we're seeing now?
No, there's no serious side. I'm always a silly goose. I feel like I need to get something off my chest because it's been bugging me for the last few months we've been gone. And I'm going to go straight into it. The Titanic thing.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, we did have some comments on YouTube.
Yeah, we did. Now, you were my witness to this. I showed you exactly my resources, and Wikipedia, of all places, did actually say, did it not, that the Titanic cost 1.5 million?
It did.
So
It did.
I was going between my sources, and I just happened to write down what was presented to me, which happened to be wrong. So technically, I'm only taking 10% of the blame of that.
But you wrote it down.
That's the 10%.
That's the 10%.
The 90% is Wikipedia.
Yeah, but then I think we've said before that you can't rely on Wikipedia because it's edited by the general public. In fact, by the time this goes out, some of the general public might have gone back and edited the Wikipedia and put the 7.5 million that it should have been.
That is possible. But if we can't trust Wikipedia, who can we trust?
That is a good point.
Yes.
That is a very good point.
Also, I think we need to address the elephant in the room.
What, the new studio?
The new studio. And, I mean, I like it, to be fair. It's okay.
I've got another shelf to go over the top of that one, so we can still put little trinkets on there as well, but I didn't have enough time to put it up.
That's fine. I quite like the one shelf, to be fair.
Yeah.
I'm hoping this echo...
I'm hoping it's not so bad. I have put acoustic tiles all around the room. I've still got more that I can put up. But yeah, it does sound a little bit reverby, doesn't it? But I'll see what I can do about that in the editing process.
Godspeed, Pirate, Godspeed.
Yeah.
I think we've got a lot of room compared to the other studio as well.
Yeah.
So that's probably a factor coming into it.
Yeah, it's like we're in the Albert Hall now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
compared to the old shed.
Yeah. The new studio and obviously the 5-minute announcement that you made before we left.
That Josh had absolutely no part of. He
He
would have told me to edit some certain parts out.
100%. As I was listening to it, two things crossed my mind. The first, I thought, this is a car crash and I can't look away. Because the Austin Powers impression was something else. But the other thought was, is Pirate on the spectrum? Because...
Probably.
the amount of detail that you went into and the things you said, I'm thinking, okay, stop it there, stop it, oh, okay, still going, right, okay, stop it there, right, but it's my fault because I wasn't there to rein you in.
No, you weren't.
But that being said, you have had a lot of love and support from people because
We have.
in life situations happen, and everyone that we know has been through a breakup or a divorce or something like that. So it's just part of life. So
It is.
It's nice that you've had some love and support. So we're not going to get into the specifics and details of things because that is your business, that is your personal life, and that is separate to podcasts, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
we need to be able to protect each other in certain situations and stuff. So all I will say is I think everybody deserves to be happy in life, and that goes for everyone. And I think around the world there is so much going on, like with wars and politics and all sorts.
Yeah.
And I think life is too short to dwell on the negative. And with us coming back on this podcast, I feel like we need to up the positivity. We need to up the research for sure. And going forward,
And write things down.
Write things down. And I think going forward, we're gonna be a lot more positive and hopefully produce a bigger, better podcast than before the break. So that's all I'm going to say.
Fresh start.
Yeah, fresh start.
In fact, I'd like to just shout out a few of the people that did send their support and their regards in their YouTube comments and such. Kevin Conley said, "Thanks for the post, Pirate. I'll be there when you're back at it." You know, he was a big fan of the show. Feathers McGraw,
Great
actually,
name.
yeah,
Great
from Wallace and Gromit. Said, "No worries, Pirate. Stay well. Look after yourself." Eleanor, she has written in quite a few times. Says, "Life happens. Take your time. We'll be here when you get back." Wayne's World of Fishing. I'm not sure if we know this person or if it is just a YouTubey thing. He said, "Sorry about the bad situation, shit, mate. I would say top to toe with Josh, but he can get a bit, let's say, handsy."
I have been known.
Yeah. So with that in mind, an airbed at your brother's doesn't seem that bad. I'm no longer at my brother's, obviously. He said, "But on a serious note, I hope things pan out for you, mate. If there's anything I can help with, give me a shout from one YouTuber to another." I don't really count ourselves as YouTubers, do we? More podcasters.
By
don't
default.
put enough effort into the YouTube side of things.
And
But thank you very much, Wayne's World of Fishing.
and I never will put effort into YouTube.
Vampiric Reflection said, "Sorry to hear about the bad news. Take time out for yourself. It's tough. Look after yourself and looking forward to the new content when it's ready." And it's here now. And the Dude's Rug, he's been on a few times, said, "Good luck with the new house and single life." So yeah, we have been getting some support. And thank you everybody that wrote in. Keith wrote us a nice email, saying that he's looking forward to us coming back. Keith Egerton, he's obviously always writing in, and we love to hear from him.
He's one of them good eggs.
He is.
Is he the one that's from Minnesota?
No, that's Ted. That's Ted.
Keith Egerton. Keith Egerton's the... what would you call it?
He's one of our Patreons.
Yeah.
One of a very small number of Patreons.
Yeah, he's one of the pillars of
He is.
the podcast. He always quite often writes in.
He does.
Yeah, I think the next week we've got a bit of a doozy. We've got a good one. We're going to come back.
You've got a doozy.
I've got one.
You've got one really cool episode in mind, haven't you?
Oh,
What did you call it? The Western Dyatlov Pass or
It's
something?
the American Dyatlov Pass. That's what it's been described as. So it's a lot of mystery, a little bit of true crime in there, just mind-blowing in a lot of little aspects. And
Interesting.
things.
And that's a big hint, to be fair. People might be able to know what that is just from your description of it.
Yeah, so come back next week and we are going to kick things off properly with a real good episode.
Oh yeah, we're going to be in full flow. I'll see if I can minimise this echo as well.
I feel like that's why I'm talking like I am, because I feel
Really
like
quiet.
it's trying to help the echo, but I don't think
It's not going to make any
not gonna-
difference. I think probably the louder you
Yeah.
talk, the better, to be fair, because the microphone will pick up more of your voice and less of the echo.
Alrighty then. Oakley dokily.
Do a Trump impression. That'll get you going.
Maybe I should. Well, I haven't followed Trump lately. I don't know what he's up to.
Neither have I, to be fair. No, I've been a little bit busy sorting out housing situations and such. And now I'm actually looking around, I'm noticing there's gaps between the acoustic tiles that are really bugging me.
That's okay. We can have
It's
gaps.
a rush job.
Po body's perfect. That's what they say, isn't it?
Nobody's not.
Something like
That's
that.
a pretty good little tongue twister you got there.
I have got a little update on the haunted house.
Your haunted house.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
what's that then?
So, as you know, we work with my neighbour. So,
Yeah, other farm members. Yeah.
yeah. And I had the pleasure of working with him once again for it's been years, and obviously I've lived next door to him for a while now.
Took me you away from me for the date.
For the day, yeah. And I was just chatting to him about life, and hey neighbour, how's it going? And the first thing he said, "Have you seen any ghosts yet?" And I said,
"Oh, see,
what do you mean?"
My claims that the previous owner of that house or the previous tenant experienced some things, and you didn't believe me.
Well, I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, "My wife quite often sees things in our house."
Oh,
Full mystified. He didn't say apparition, but he gave me 2 examples that have happened to him. But it was really weird. So he's telling me everything that's happened in his house, but he's ultimately saying, "But I don't believe in ghosts." So
right.
when I asked him and thought, well, "What do you mean you don't believe in ghosts, but you've seen all these things?" He was like, "Well, to me, it's maybe energy." So he's one of those. Like, he doesn't necessarily believe in ghosts, but he thinks there's some sort of maybe energy when we pass on kind of thing. So he has been followed into certain rooms of his house. And I said, elaborate.
Followed?
Yeah, so he says there's been a few times where he's walked into a room and he has felt like an energy or like a temperature drop behind him as he's walked into the room, as if something's followed him into the room. So I thought that was quite interesting. Yeah. So I've been looking out for that, and I've not had that yet. And then he said he was watching TV one night, and right in front of him, there was almost like this, for a few seconds, there was like a white mist, as if like someone had blown a vape in his face or something.
Like haze.
Yeah. And I said, "Well, that's surely a ghost." And he said, "No, it didn't look like a person. It was just something." So, and then he finished off the conversation by saying, "But a man did die in my son's bedroom." So,
right, okay. That's a fairly good chance then, really, isn't it?
yeah, but they've always seen things and what. But then I tried to confirm some of the debunkings that I've had.
Right.
Well, the things that I tried to debunk. So
the creaky pipes and
yeah, and I said to him about like, well, I've heard banging and things like that, and he said, "Well, where do you mostly hear the banging?" And I said, "Well, when we're in the living room, I always kind of hear it behind us in like the kitchen." And he said, "Above you there is where my son's bedroom is. So if there is a ghost, it's next door." I haven't got to worry about it. So.
Well, all I know is that the guy who lived there before you, or a few tenants before you, he'd got young kids, and I don't know if I've told this story in the pod before.
I think you have.
Did I? Yeah. He'd find them chatting, just chatting into the air, and he'd say, "Oh, who are you talking to?" And the man.
Yeah.
What man? Oh, he's gone now. So. Maybe it comes through from next door.
Maybe.
Ghosts and walls, they can walk through them, can't they? They say.
I mean, I don't feel Like there's been certain situations where I have felt like a presence or an energy. Like I told you about when I broke into the abandoned insane asylum near Norwich.
Yes, yeah.
And I felt a presence there. When we went to Pickleman's Cottage, which unfortunately you can't go anymore, but Pickleman's Cottage was, I think I said this on the pod before, it was a man that got sent off to World War, I think it was World War One, World War Two, one of the two. And he basically just took all of his stuff and left. And his house, like homeless people were living there for a while, but everything was as it was when he left. So there was like a penny farthing and a piano and sewing machines and stuff like that.
Right.
And
Right. Proper old school. Then.
old school, yeah, old school little cottage in the middle of nowhere. And a lot of people would go there for like photography. That's how we found out about it. Because when my wife was at uni, she was doing like
I
derelict
bet the
buildings.
urban explorers love that place.
Yeah, unfortunately, it got popular, so they've shut it down now.
Right.
But we actually managed to go there like a year before they closed it down, and that was fine when you walked in. But then the minute you got to the bottom of the stairs, I just felt sad, like there was just something. But I don't have any of that in my new house. I literally don't. I don't have any negative energy or anything. Like I quite often will cook dinner and dance around in my undies and stuff and like be loving life. You know what I mean? Like I don't.
There's a mental image that you didn't think you were going to get today.
Yeah,
People.
Yeah. So I'm normally quite good with that kind of thing. So I don't. Yeah, I feel quite positive in the house.
That's
so
good. I feel quite positive in this house.
yeah, I don't feel any bad vibes when you walk in.
No, I think it's pretty nice here. And the other thing that I've noticed in this house, particularly while recording this pod, is have you noticed the distinct lack of fighter jets
Yes.
in our ears?
I did hear one before we started recording.
Did you?
Yeah, but I think we're okay. I mean,
All right. We're in a building now, though, not just a little wooden shed in the garden.
I was just he literally took the words out of my mouth. The last studio was thin wood, so that's how we heard it all the time. But this is actually quite nice. It's also a bit of a quirky turkey house. There's like weird, what's the word? Architectural structures.
Yeah, well, I think where we're sitting wasn't
Yeah.
in the original house.
Yeah,
They were, when it was constructed, they were built as housing association houses, and they were just little one-bedroom places.
Right.
And then when they were sold off, they were all divided. They were knocked through and divided up, and yeah, just recalibrated. So now, yeah, it's very odd. It's all on different levels, isn't it? You have to walk upstairs and downstairs and then upstairs again. And
yeah. It kind of reminds me of like is it a Shire house from The Hobbit and stuff?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
It's like
a bit like that.
Yeah, it's quite a quirky little bungalow house. I like it. It's different. It's very you, if that makes sense.
Definitely me. Yeah. It's got my quirkiness to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm hoping it works out and you stay here for a while.
I've signed a 12-month contract, so I'm here for at least a year.
You hear that, people? We got 12 months left.
Got another
Come on.
12 months of podcasting.
Get us to number one.
Yes. It'll never happen.
Hey, never say never. We're all about positivity, man. Feng shui.
If people told their friends, we'd double our listeners every week.
Feng shui, baby.
We've got actually. I wanted to read out a couple of emails.
Our listeners have been busy, haven't they?
They have. Yeah, this one was a little while ago now. From Rachel Rivoire. Not entirely sure how that's pronounced.
Sounds nice.
But this was about the Sodder children, your episode.
Oh, here we go. What else did I get wrong?
Here we go.
Here we go.
So Rachel says, hello. I just wanted to say I enjoyed your podcast on the Sodder children. It is such a sad but fascinating case. Here are a couple of additional interesting facts, if you're interested.
Here we go.
In regards to the picture of Lois that was addressed to the mum, Jenny, she did have a brother named Frank Cipriani, who could be Brother Frankie. The Sodder family had initially suspected him because he lived in Florida. There were witnesses who saw the children get into cars with a Florida license plate. Even the Sodders believed this theory that Jenny's brother took them because it would have been somebody that they knew.
Oh,
Another
okay.
point to mention is that the house belonged to Jenny's father and it was unsettled. When he died, it was left to Jenny. Jenny and her brothers, Frank and Jimmy, who was the one that was a volunteer firefighter, you remember?
Yes.
At the scene, they were fighting over the ownership of the house.
Well, that changes things, doesn't it?
The man who threatened them
Oh, yeah.
was George's former boss. George's former boss, who knew Frank, also mentioned that Jenny wasn't signing the settlement papers since he wanted it in her brother's favour.
Interesting. A little bit of family feud there.
Yeah. So
Okay.
someone did better research than you did. Maybe we should employ our listeners to do our research for. Here's an idea.
I'll tell you. Why don't I just leave now?
We'll just we'll announce
her?
what we've got coming up in the next few weeks, and then people can do the research and send it in to us, and then we'll just spew it back to them.
Hang on a second. It's not just me that is slack on research as well. There's
I'm
two
terrible.
of us on this podcast.
Oh, I know.
So don't be coming at me with all this, let's employ other people. Because if I'm going out that door, you're coming with me, and we can get 2 other people to take the mantle, and they can do Paranormality UK. How about that?
What, doing impressions of us?
Yeah. That'll work, won't it?
We might as well just go back to AI.
I'll do an impression of you. Oh, I'm pirate. Oh, look at the stars. Oh, solar system. Science stuff. Black holes. Meh. There you go. That's pretty accurate.
Okay. Okay.
That's pretty good.
Okay. That's fair enough. I'll do an impression of you.
Go on,
I'm
then.
going to speak really quietly because I'm worried about the echo.
Oh, no. Oh, I'm so hurt.
I don't like being on YouTube.
No, I hate YouTube. But also, I take offence to that. I can't believe you said someone did better research than me. I spent all of 3 hours doing research on the Sodder family disappearance, I'll have you know. And I'm pretty sure I covered all of it. Well, most of it, apart from that.
Yeah. In fairness, you did a pretty good job.
Thank you. You take that back.
Okay.
What was her name?
No, I'm not taking
Jenny- Jenny
It
Rivera?
was Rachel Rivoire?
Okay, well, to you, Rachel, touche. Thank you.
Touche. Yes, touche.
Thank you for finding out something I didn't notice.
And this one is, hi, Josh and Pirate. My name's Iva. Pronounced Iva.
Is that your impression of me, not being able to pronounce words?
Yeah, well, you pronounce it. Look at that.
Which one is
Look.
it? I haven't got my glasses on, so this is fun. Oh, yeah. Oh. Avia Fallon.
Yeah, but that's not how it's pronounced. Apparently, it's pronounced Iva.
Maybe I
Or
shouldn't have read it.
Ava.
Maybe I shouldn't have
I
read the
don't know.
last name.
I've commented on one of your videos prior about suggesting a podcast on Charles Manson and his family.
Ah, yes.
When I
Charlie.
suggested it, it came to me that I thought it wouldn't be a relative episode, like true crime is not equal to paranormal. But I went down a small rabbit hole and found out there are so many more conspiracy theories about the case. One of the main ones being the CIA mind control experiment. We won't go too far into it in case Josh decides to cover it. Anyways,
I've heard.
I think it would be a cool episode to do, but not so much for the true crime side, more for the conspiracy theory side. Hope you guys have a great day and keep on podcasting. We are keeping on podcasting. It's still going down. We're back.
Maybe. You wanted me out 5 minutes ago.
I don't ever want you out.
You said replace me with...
I didn't say replace you. I just said we could get our followers to do, our listeners to do research for us. Then it would give you even more time on a Sunday.
to think of intros.
Yeah.
No, can't do that.
The intros are going to be requested. I know it. I
No.
just know it. They will be.
Unless I see...
Polar Bear will be requesting intros.
Unless there's a minimum of about 50 comments saying, where are the intros? They're not coming back. But also, in response to that last email, I have heard all the Charles Manson stuff being CIA and conspiracy and all of that.
Like drug trials or something.
Yeah, I have all of that. But because one of the things I've heard as well was he was actually a semi-successful musician before all of the craziness happened.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, apparently so. He's got good songs, according to some
Sounds
people.
interesting to me, mate. Maybe you should save it for an episode.
Maybe. I don't know. It's interesting, but the only reason I'd be covering it is because it's been requested. Because we do like to, when a listener asks and is really interested in something, I do like to.
We do honour that.
Yeah.
We have done in the past.
Yeah. We'll see. I'll have to look into it more. Oh, no, because if I look into it, this is how I get tricked. Because then I start looking into it, and then all of a sudden, 4 hours later, I've got a podcast.
Well, I'm going to have to look into this other one. The Future I Saw by Ryo Tatsuki.
Sounds Asian.
That was a comment that Kevin Connolly, who commented earlier, he said on the Save 7 episode, if there's an event this month, she'd be in it. She's got 13 out of 15 predictions right, apparently, in that book, or whatever it is.
Oh, so if it's predictions.
Well, that's the point, actually, because as we record this, it's literally 7 days. 7 days today is May the 27th. Although when this goes out, it's not going to be. It'll be in the past. So we still don't know what's going to happen then. At this point in time,
we could be vanquished, or nothing can happen.
Yeah, I mean, we might be recording this podcast all in vain because the world's going to end. Who knows? No one will hear this podcast anyway.
True.
Although I don't think so.
What was the other thing? What was it Billy Meyer said that didn't happen?
Oh, the Pope was going to be the last Pope, wasn't it? And then he
Yeah.
died, and they chose another Pope.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah.
They had to do a big old conclave, didn't they?
Yeah.
Get together. And am I right in thinking a conclave is because you're religious, you were brought up religious. No, you're not religious, but you were brought up religious. So a conclave, you know a lot about religion anyway.
Right.
A conclave is when they get all the popes together.
The cardinals. There's only one Pope. They vote on being Pope. Who's going to be Pope?
Oh, so not all the popes go into one room?
No, because there's only one Pope. But when the Pope dies, the cardinals are like the next highest body in the Catholic Church.
I know there's only one Pope that can take over. But there's more than one
There'll be a
Pope.
Cardinal.
There's more than one Pope, though, isn't there?
No, there's only ever one Pope.
No.
There's more than one cardinal, but there's only ever one Pope at a time. When the Pope dies, all the cardinals get into a meeting called the conclave, like you say. Right. No one's allowed to in there or out of it until they've decided which one of them is going to be the next Pope.
Which one of them is going to be the next Pope.
Yeah.
So they're all... There's not just one guy that's up for being Pope. There's that's what I mean.
Yeah, they have to vote on who's the kindest, I guess. But if you go back through history, like cardinals have killed each other and all sorts were trying to argue out who's going to be Pope. But it used to be really, really brutal.
It has to be a unanimous decision, doesn't it?
I think so, yeah.
So even if like one person disagrees, they have to go back and discuss it, don't they? Until every single cardinal is like, he's
and
the
that
guy.
depends on the smoke that's coming out of the chimney. I think the colour of the smoke matters. I can't remember, but yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I like the word conclave, to be fair.
It's a cool name, a cool word, isn't it?
Yeah. Is this the conclave?
It's a conclave between us. We're not voting on who's Pope, though.
No, I don't give a about the Pope. Oh, I didn't mean to swear.
Well done. First episode back, and he's already ringing out the swear words.
I don't care about the Pope.
He's not even on a rant.
No, I can't rant about religion because a lot of the population is religious. So I'm not going.
And you can't really rant about the Pope or who is being, voted in as Pope.
To be fair, the last Pope, from what I've read, done a lot of good things.
He did.
He was very people orientated and done a lot of good things. So I'm not going to slate the Pope. The history of the Catholic Church, however,
here we go.
I think people seem to forget that, things would get touched, then they would get moved, and it's not great. It's not a great image. But in the recent years, I suppose the Catholic religion has kind of made a comeback in a way.
I don't know.
I'm not interested either.
I don't know that it has, because I believe that even in America now, 50% of Americans are just atheistic or, gone for other religions and just non-religion. And that's the lowest percentage of Christians in history of America. So, I mean, here in the UK, we're a lot less religious just in general. It has its place, but because obviously we've got a lot of old churches and stuff, and it does have a lot of place in our history and our culture.
Something to do with King Henry VIII and all that rubbish.
Well, the fact that we have a monarch, the monarch's got to be ordained by God, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know. It's
all that sort of thing.
Hogwash to me.
So, but yeah, we tend to be as a country a lot less religious than America. But even America's starting to become more agnostic, I think.
I've said it before. I do think there's good points about religion. Like if you follow the 10 Commandments and things, like, yeah, it's cool. It's a good way to live your life and set rules and boundaries and guidelines and things. But, yeah, without offending anyone, I just don't believe in a man in the sky with a beard living in clouds. Like, it just doesn't, When there's certain people that say, like, oh, I can feel the Holy Spirit and stuff, I'm like, yeah, cool, you do you. That makes more sense. Yeah. But when, like, Noah's Ark didn't happen... Like,
freaking Noah's Ark again. You always pick on Noah's Ark.
Yeah, because that's the kind of biblical story. I'm like, it's just a load of nonsense. There's elements of truth behind the flood.
Yes.
But there's no way he gathered 2 of every animal.
7.
Yeah, I know you've said this before, but when you're taught in like primary school and stuff, it's like
there's 2 by 2. The animals went in 2 by 2. Hurrah, hurrah! Yeah. There was two of the dirty animals, so like rats and pigs and stuff like that, and 7 of the clean animals.
Well, that's even more animals for a small boat. So
they had 6 to breed and 1 to eat.
Oh, it's too confusing. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. There's no way a lion and a zebra were in the same part of the boat just looking at each other and became friends.
It did happen because it was also mentioned in the Gospel of the Flying Spaghetti Monster.
No.
Noah went after the pirates that were actually,
that book
sea.
In itself is a joke as well.
It was funny.
Yeah, it's meant to be a joke, I suppose. But no, I'm not going to keep banging on about religion. I don't believe in it, and if people do, then that's cool.
It's very cool. We don't want to offend people on our first episode back. Really. Not well, we do.
To be honest, I don't care anymore. I just don't. I don't care.
We're always offending everybody anyway, so what difference does it make?
In the break that we've had, if anything, I've got more sassy and zesty over the time. Like, I just don't care. Like, I'm just going to say it how it is, how I feel. If I get it wrong or offend people, then so be it. I don't read comments anyway. I don't care.
Yeah, no, you don't.
I'm not on social media. Like, it is what it is. There's people that are out there that are producing content that are much more controversial. There's things going on in the world. Like, I don't know if anyone's noticed what's going on with Hollywood and the celebrities and P. Diddy, but that's the kind of thing that people should look into and be like, oh, wow, that's actually something to be offended by. There's actual crimes going on. Me going, I don't believe in a guy living on a cloud with a beard is nothing to get offended by. Like, everyone's got opinions and stuff. Do you know what I mean? I've heard people before say, like, Josh is an idiot, he doesn't research, he gets everything wrong. And I'm like, yeah, there's elements of truth to that as well. Like, I'm not offended, I don't care. Like, I'm not bothered. I'm like, just living life, man, I don't care.
Nah, well...
I've been trying to read more books and get more educated, and words and me don't think so good. So
no, but the only books you read are Star Wars anyway. So
yeah, you're damn straight.
And half the words in that are made up.
Yeah, and Star Wars can't hurt me. It can't hurt other people. Star Wars is something to live by.
Star Wars did hurt you, though.
No, it didn't hurt me. The Acolyte upset me. Star Wars will always be...
That's just not Star Wars, is it?
No, I don't consider it Star Wars.
It's just, yeah.
The Acolyte was the way I would describe it is, you know, when you're playing a really good game, and like you love Fallout, right?
Yeah.
Now imagine you're playing Fallout, and some people would play Red Dead Redemption 2, but then there might be a side quest that you start
You
playing,
hate. Yeah.
and you're like,
even some of the main quests I hate.
I really hate this quest. That is what the Acolyte is to the whole Star Wars universe. It's just a side quest that you're like, I'm just going to ignore that. And if I play the game again, I'm not going to bother doing that side quest. I think that's how
fair.
most of the people
That's
feel.
fair.
So, yeah, I'm feeling sassy. I'm feeling pumped. And I think next week, this is just a small snippet of what's to come.
Because it is, I think we're just getting back into the swing, testing out the new studio, giving it a little go. Making sure you guys know that we haven't abandoned you. You know, we haven't quit. We're still going to carry on.
I tried. Pirate wouldn't let me.
It's a lifelong commitment.
There's actually chains on my ankle to the table. I'm not allowed to leave.
You're right.
So yeah, next week.
I'd drop the key down the drain outside as well. So you're not going home tonight.
That's all right. I'll just do a saw and cut my leg off eventually.
Yeah.
And then it turns
Good luck
out
working the clutch with that foot then.
Yeah, that's fine. That's all right. I'll just hop home. It's only 3.6 miles. It's nothing.
That was from the old house. What is it to this one?
Probably 4. I don't know. It's all right. It's all good. I do 5 miles on the regular. It's okay.
On one foot?
I could if I wanted to. Because the power of positivity, that's why.
It uplifts you.
Yeah.
You'll float home.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be good then.
If you can believe it, you can achieve it. That's what they say, isn't it?
Yes. I guess.
Know
Someone might say that.
The moral of the story is we're back. I'm extra sassy. And there's no real explanation for it. I just want to be a bit more sassy.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, when you
Sassy suits you, though.
I feel like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, it does. Yeah, I am sassy. Deal with it. Do you know what set it off? Do you know what set it off for me? And I will be, no, apart from Flat Earthers, it's recently. So during the break, you know me, I love music. I'm all about music, always trying to find new music. So if there's any recommendations for that, please write in, or write into Pirate and then he can tell me, because I don't bother with comments anymore. And this is why. Now, I'm looking for new music on different social media apps, whether it's Instagram, whether it's TikTok, I don't bother with Facebook anymore. The devil controls that.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for new music. Now, I'm finding tunes and I'm seeing people rating different albums, different artists and stuff. And I go on the comments and it is just insult after negative insult after. And after a while, I start to wonder, like, these people can't be trolling. They must just be nasty people. And I don't want to deal with social media anymore because I can't understand, like, me being try and be a positive, logical person. If I'm scrolling and I see something I don't like, I just carry on scrolling.
Yeah,
I
don't understand why people just
like,
stop and
Why are they going out of their way to be horrible and nasty to people?
Like that guy commented on our podcast on Spotify. He said, 5 seconds is all I could manage. Well, to that I say, that's what she said. But, I don't say anything because I'm not going to fuel the fire, The guy doesn't want to listen, don't listen. Why have you got to complain about it?
Yeah, if it's not for him, it's not for him. Yeah. That's fine.
The fact that he came back.
yeah. He listened to another episode because he made another comment and it's just like... but yeah, it's really like, it actually upsets me when I see people just living their lives or just trying to chase their dreams or something, and then you read the comments and it's just unnecessary. Like it was the one I saw of this guy was playing guitar and he didn't have the best voice, but he didn't have the worst, but he was really good at guitar.
Right.
And he must be like 23, 24 or something. But there were certain high notes and stuff. That was where it was going wrong.
You just couldn't hit.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the actual music and the structure and all the stuff that he's writing himself, I was like, you know what, he's actually pretty good. I'm reading the comments because I was trying to work out if it was a cover or if it was his own song.
Yeah.
And literally every single person's like, give up on your dreams. You can't sing. My farts sound better. All this stuff. And I'm just like...
That's brutal.
It is brutal. And some of the comments are kind of funny if you are like... if you know the person or if it's banter or whatever. But then they're getting nastier as you're reading them. And it's just like, when you start reading comments where it's like, oh, this is awful, you should kill yourself and stuff. I'm like...
I think that encourages
really?
other people to do it as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. And it's like, we already have like a suicide problem amongst young men. And then when you read a comment of a man telling another like young man, like, oh, just give up on your dreams and kill yourself. It's just like, that's what the world is now. Like, you can't even... I struggle to find positive comments. So because of that, I feel like I'm extra sassy because I'm like, I'm not putting up with that rubbish anymore. I'm not reading comments of negativity anymore. I'm pretty much given up on social media now. I can't be asked. It's not just Discord. I just don't want that.
I don't have private social media. I only do the podcast social media.
Yeah, and as much as I love the listeners and the people that support us, I'll always have a place in my heart for that because I think that's so nice that people reach out and email things.
Oh, definitely.
But like, also at the same time, I really struggle with like social media and stuff because I really do think social media has what is basically the worst thing in this life at the moment.
Yeah,
I know that's a bold statement, but I've seen so many people.
Even Mark Zuckerberg said the other week that he thinks social media is coming to the end of its day.
I hope so. Because people compare themselves to others, and I just think it's really dangerous for society.
It is.
And I don't think we're going to become like a better people with it.
Yeah, humans are not. We didn't evolve to be able to cope with social media with so much interaction with literally anybody in the world. You know, we assign ourselves to small little social groups, and that's how we've evolved to fit in.
Yeah.
To smaller social groups in your family, your immediate surroundings, you know, your town or village or whatever, even small social groups within the city that you live in. You're not used to being able to interact with every single person in that town, city, country, world.
Yeah.
You know, it's just weird. And yeah, the 21st century has just opened that up to us in ways that we never, well, at least when I was little, never thought would happen.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, expect a more sassy Josh that just isn't going to take negative rubbish for no reason. I'll quite happily take constructive criticism and things like that. But yeah, like you mentioned that guy that's just trolling or whatever. I just don't have time for it. I just can't be bothered to deal with it. I just want to be positive, move forward, do some entertaining things. Cover some interesting stories, some interesting topics.
And make this podcast a 9.9 on the paranormality scale.
Yeah, no one gets a 10.
No one.
There's always room for improvement. But yeah, I just think that's all I've got to say today. I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling sassy. It's been a long break.
Yeah, you'd think you'd be rejuvenated after a long break off, wouldn't you? Well, it's been a month since we last recorded anything.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
It is new and weird surroundings as well.
Yeah, it's all about changing, adapting, and working what our mothers gave us. That's something like that.
All right, no rating this week. Anyway, yes, we are back. We're bad.
Beautiful.
Well, some people might think we're
three
beautiful.
Bs.
We're the three Bs, the back, bad, and beautiful.
Yep.
And until next week, I've been Pirate.
I'm Josh.
And this has been Paranormality UK. Ta-ta.
Ta-ta, sassy bears.